So did you come up with one,
I
Tom?
do. I have one. And it's similar but different. So Record Store Day, we're all fans of Record Store Day. We go to Record Store Day. We look forward to when the list comes out every spring and fall for either Record Store Day in the spring or the Black Friday version of it, which was clearly a cash grab. I think, and I have no proof, this is just me spitballing, that when we see those lists and they put like one or two of those big band names on there and they're like one of 500, or there's 500 prints of this, 500 pressings of this record, I think that there are ones in there that don't exist to get people to go to the store. What do you think about that?
I'm trying to unpack this in my head. So, like, arbitrarily here, Bruce Springsteen live at MSG, one of this 500 out there. You're saying that they're just headline names to get people to go out that don't exist.
Like, I'm excited for the Bruce one. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for Rolling Stones, whatever. This live show from The Doors. And then you get there, and that Bruce one's just not there. Like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't here early enough. Or you stood in line and the record store you went to didn't have it, which has happened to me before. Maybe they just don't exist, and they're just hype bringers.
I feel like that would come out on IG. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
Here's a kind of piggyback to that.
Yes.
So say Bruce live at MSG or Asbury Park, whatever, 500. There ain't 500 of those. There's fucking 5,000. There's 10,000 of those.
Yeah, that could
so
be
you
too.
think you're special.
Yep.
Yeah, there's multiple ways this could go. The 10,000 thing, or even just the unlimited limited thing. I mean, Tool Lateralis on wax, on vinyl, that is a limited sticker on it, but it's definitely not limited because it's been around forever and they keep pressing it.
Right.
So limited to what? I guess if you don't actually put a number on it, you're not necessarily lying. It's like the gray area there. But to your point, Tone, yeah, I mean, maybe that's just a way to get people to the store, right? You advertise like, oh, you're already here at this point. I guess I might as well spend some money. So.
Or, okay, I'll take it one step further. Maybe to beef the list up, we get band names or bands in there that we've never heard of. Like, we joked, we have an Instagram thread too, just because we're always sending stuff back and forth that's pod related. And the Hard Times put their festival announcement out yesterday, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know any of these. And then I looked at the dates and I was like, this is gotta be a troll. It's Thanksgiving. And sure enough, I like went to the link, and they were like, oh, this band's putting out 25 years of Wet Cement. I'm like, this is so bullshit. This is such a troll. And the whole comment section was, I don't know any of these bands. This is bullshit. Like, who are these people? I was like, it's the Hard Times, guys. You got to know this is coming. So maybe, a la that, we've got a couple of names to beef up the list that just don't exist. And there's like, oh, one of 2,500 copies, but no one's heard of this band. They're not even real.
Well, it's like, I don't know, is it Kimmel or one of the late night hosts does the man on the street, and they'll like say stuff that's not real to get people, and like people like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah. That whole thing.
Yeah, I think Record Store Day started as a wholesome get back out to the record stores, buy something, see something cool, get stuff pressed that maybe hadn't seen the light of day in a long time. And it's clearly become capitalist. It's kind of like our festival episode not too long back. Nate said go early. Go to one of the first couple of years because they're trying to figure everything out. And then, 10 years in, they're corporatized. That's exactly what's happened at Record Store Day.
Yeah, totally. To the point where this last one was, I think they had like 8 sponsors, presented by like Tito's Vodka and all these like brands that have nothing to do with music.
Yeah,
so
like, fuck off. And all of that being said, I'm gonna go when the July drop happens. Like I still want stuff. I bought stuff this last time. I'll buy stuff at the next one. There's stuff that I'm always in search of, and if I can get my hands on it, yeah, I'm in. But I definitely think it's this is one of those situations where there's some hype built around it just to get people into the door, and maybe stuff doesn't exist or is never gonna come to your place anyway.
I think that's a good one actually. We'll have to
ask your boy Luz.
Yeah. Well, he does give me some insight, and some of that insight is the fact that I ask him for certain records all the time, if we're talking about it on the podcast, or we talked about them and I want to get it for promotion or something, and he's like, oh, well, let me look it up. He's like, oh, that's been on back order for 2 years or
that's
whatever. He
cool.
has
yeah.
all these real time stats on how long it's going to take to get the record, if it's ever going to come at all. And he's like, yeah, to be honest, he said, I've been in this industry for a while, and the resurgence of vinyl is so strong that even someone like the Beatles is having a hard time getting vinyl pressed. There's just such a backlog and such a demand. And a lot of these record plants, when on the downslope, actually closed up and demolished and threw out all their equipment. So they can't even like start over because the equipment isn't even being manufactured anymore. So the ones that are still going are like one in a few, with the exception of Jack White's thing. So
Yep.
yeah, it's pretty touchy, the whole vinyl thing.
Well, it's like Deftones put out that Digital Bath picture disc, which is supposedly limited to 8,000. And at our local store, when I went, I mean, they were flush with them, flush. So I'm thinking to myself, well, how many independent record stores are there? How many outlets have this? And it's like, I swear the math wasn't adding up. Like I was like, there's more than 8,000 of these things out there.
I think you can still get that today too, and it's been a couple of weeks since that came out.
Yeah, unless the stamp's on there, like those. I think we were talking about the Incubus vinyls that I picked up. Like there is like a one of 700 or whatever on there, so that's kind of nice. Whether
yeah,
even
there's
that's
not
real
with
is
this one.
Yeah, so I mean, all sorts of shady stuff going on.
You can still get that at all but 2 Bull Moose stores. One of them's not even open, so.
Oh man.
So that was mine, yeah.